me and you.
In the wake of Saturday.
Yeah.
Hey.
Pete and I attacked the lost Astoria with promise and precision. I've read about the afterlife, but I've never really lived more than an hour. And it's like, you know, like, that's like a song that like a lot of people who graduate high school and don't know what they're doing can completely relate to. It's like I've read about like death and stuff, like I know what happens, like, you know, like all this stuff, but I've never really like lived. Like, what have I really done?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful friggin' lyric.
That's for anyone who doesn't know the story, basically
some of the old songs that they still play.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, they still play that.
Does Pete still fucking scream?
Yeah, he usually, well, at that part, he usually takes a microphone and stops playing his bass and runs into the crowd, and then they kind of lift him. Typically.
For anyone who doesn't know the story that I was about to tell, it's basically the same thing that Rob told about Def Leppard, but with Fall Out Boy. Patrick was writing, what was it? Chicago is,
Chicago is so 2 years ago.
Yeah, he was writing that, and the producer came up.
Like, it was his baby. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like putting all of his shit into that basket, and the producer came up to him. He's like, "What are you?" He heard him, and he was like, "What are you doing over there?" And he's like, you know, I'm just writing.
Oh, I'm writing it. Yeah.
I'm writing a thing. He goes, "For the band?" And he's like, "No, you know, this is just like my thing." And he was like, "No." He was like, "You guys are a band. That when you write for everyone."
Yeah, like no sharing secrets in the band. And Pat had a hard time letting go of that song because he was like, you know, if this band doesn't work out, like, I still want to be a musician, and that's mine. And they were like, you got to trust us. Like, we got to work together on this one.
And then another thing that's similar to the Def Leppard, which is like the second half when they were like, "Get in the studio now." What is that? Is the drummer? It was I always forget their fucking names. The drummer and the other guitarist for Fall Out Boy.
Oh, Joe Truman and Andy Hurley.
Joe and Andy were, back when they were on hiatus, Joe and Andy would meet up and like fucking and just fucking jam, and then at one point they had called Pete and Patrick and they were like, "Listen, you guys
want to jam?
You guys want to jam? We've come up with some shit," and that turned into the album that we know today as Save Rock and Roll.
Yeah, I mean, they just started because like Andy, they all kind of work on their own stuff, and like Joe started writing stuff on his own, and Andy, when they talked to Andy about like Fall Out Boy's hiatus, I was just really sad. He's like, I got home and I looked at my calendar, and we didn't have any, like, I had nothing planned. Like, all I did was record.
Let me hear those screams!
Yeah.
I didn't have anything that, like, you know, this band was like, I love this band. I love all the guys. We all like each other, you know.
Off my shield!
Really tired and boring. He's like, so I didn't really have anything else to do. Him and Joe wound up, they were actually all in a lot of bands. The only one that, by the time Fall Out Boy was formed, the only one that Andy hadn't been in a band with was Pat. He had been in a band with Pete and Joe before.
Yeah, I remember reading that in, AJ has an issue of Alternative Press, and I think it was when Save Rock and Roll might have came out. And they did like a shit. They were the cover story, so they were talking about how they were all in a band and like they met Pat in like a fucking Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
And like asked them, they were like, "You want to do this
Pat
thing?"
auditioned to be their drummer.
Yeah. And they were like, "We don't need a drummer."
How, like in Def Leppard, Joe Elliott auditioned to be the guitarist, and they were like, "You can sing. Why don't you just sing?" And he was like, "Oh no." He's like, "I don't think that, you know, I could be a singer." And neither did Pat. Pat was like, "I don't really."
Pat was like, "I don't care." And then they were like, "Just fucking do it." And then he did, and they were like, "Dude."
Yeah.
Oh, these fucking surveyors.
I mean,
man.
and Pat can still play drums. They do a cool drum solo. They do a cool drum duet. Him and Andy sometimes. Well, Save Rock and Roll where they did it. I don't know if they did it in every city or what. But they did a pretty sweet drum duet. Pretty dope. Oh God, I can't find these friggin' stupid. There they are. It's flying. There's guys are flying around like. Yeah.
Fucking. Oh my gosh, I need to get a shotgun out. They keep fucking dodging my axes.
So obnoxious. I hate these things.
Yeah, these are obnoxious. This one is kind of like stuck in a pattern, which is pretty funny to fucking watch. Because he just kind of like does a little loop-de-loop. Death Trap's a great anti-air, like, fucking machine.
Yeah.
Like, and so is Axton's turret. Like, you throw Axton's turret down when there's a shit ton of racks, and it'll just drop them all. and like you can just like sit back and like pop a beer or whatever and just like relax. Saturday. It was what was really cool is I listened to a band called We Came as Romans, and every album they had written was always done on the road. So and like you could tell, like then they came out and they were like, yeah, when they were writing their new album, which was their self-titled, their lyricist, who's also their guitarist, Joshua, he was like, yeah, you know, it was really nice not to have to write this one on the road. We could just kind of like focus on it, and you can hear the difference in the lyrics, because a lot of their past songs have to, you know, like thematically do with stuff that you would think about when you're on the road. Like on their album Understanding What We've Grown to Be, the title song, which is the closing song of the album, the chorus, or I think it's the I forget it's the chorus or the pre-chorus, so I always mix it up, but it goes tonight, it goes tonight when I look into the sky, I know this is why I am alive, and then like the band comes in to chant it, and the screamer comes in to sing So Sing With Me If You Share This Feeling. I think lyrically one of the, and I know I talk to you about it all the time, about how much like fucking Fall Out Boy, especially like American Beauty, American Psycho as an album, like hits me lyrically, and like just hits me across the face with some truth bombs. I have to, there's one song that will always just be like on top of that, and there's a band, for anyone who doesn't know, or you know, I don't know who listens to what, there's a band called A Day to Remember, and they're pretty well known in metalcore because they're like a hybrid band. They'll have some, like, their earlier stuff was really fucking heavy, and then like their most recent stuff is like kind of like poppy, but it's still got like punk and metalcore roots. And on their I think it was their third or fourth album, called What Separates Me From You, they wrote a song, or Jeremy, the singer, wrote the song, This Is the House That Doubt Built. And he did an interview, and like when I first heard that song I was like, whoa, I was like, this song's fucking real, man. And he did an interview, and they were like, so what is, you know, what's that song about? And Jeremy was like, you know, it's about going to a concert. It's about going to a concert and just feeling at peace with everything, and like feeling accepted and at one. And I saw them, like, I like looked up a live performance of that, and when he played it, he was like, he goes, this is a song about the fans. Like everyone started cheering. He goes, this is the house that Doubt built, and this one's for you. And like he fucking started, and they like went into it, and I was like, fuck. They're the only band that I really, really like, besides like Fall Out Boy, that I haven't seen in any shape or form live, which upsets me. So that's like my new goal, is to see A Day to Remember. Hey, buddy. I took out the constructor with my... Oh, never mind. I thought I took out the constructor with my infinity pistol. But I guess he, like, healed or some shit. Dropped a lot of gear, though. Like that sweet, sweet iridium. Who the fuck... Where you at?
I'm rising.
That was close. No, it wasn't.
But yeah, I would recommend that anyone who's like really into music, like as much as we are, I would definitely recommend to go and listen to the song "This Is the House That Doubt Built." Especially if you're just in a point in your life where you kind of like you question things and you question if what you're doing is right. Because I'm starting a band like right now, like as we speak. I finally have a full lineup. I have rhythm and lead guitars, I have keyboard / synth, I've got a drummer, I've got a bassist, you know, I'm the vocalist. Like everything is like starting to pan out after a really shitty summer of like everything about our band was just falling apart. Our bassist left, you know, we didn't know if we were gonna find another one. All the things we'd planned for this summer, like writing, we were planning to like record our EP and like start playing gigs around, you know, the area. Like none of that happened, and it just made us feel really shitty. But you know, I went out and I saw a bunch of concerts, and I wrote 2 of what I like to think are like my, at least this far lyrically, they were my best work. I wrote a song called "Ghost in the Mirror," which is about it's not really a breakup song, but it's about dealing with it, like, and not even just a breakup, like anyone who's like out of your life, a friend, you know, a family member, where they left on like good terms or they left on really shitty terms, you know, if it's just somebody that you're always finding yourself thinking about, they're the at least I wrote, you know, that quote-unquote person to be the ghost in the mirror, and the song is all about accepting that it's over, and, you know, not allowing yourself to be haunted by the ghost anymore. But I was really just confused on, like, everything that I was doing, and I didn't know if, like, this was gonna pan out the way I wanted it to. I just had so many doubts, and then I listened to This Is the House That Doubt Built, and that just kind of changed my perspective on it, and it solidified all my, like, hopes. Because the chorus goes, for anyone who's not gonna go listen to it, because if you're not into, like, metalcore or whatever, the chorus goes, "Forget everything just for tonight." Sorry, I can never remember lyrics unless I, like, sing the melody in my head, so bear with me. Forget everything just for tonight, forget everything just for tonight, we'll sing like everyone when they're alone, because I've been waiting for the night to sing whoa, whoa, and, like, the whoa is, like, held out and all melodic. And then the second chorus, which they add something to it, it goes, and if we believe that if we all stand together, we're a force that can shake the whole world. For once I'm doing something right when I sing whoa, whoa. And I remember when I first got, you know, because that album's old, like, really old, but I finally was like, hey, AJ, can you, like, you know, can I borrow what separates me from you so I can listen to it and, like, put it on my iPod and whatever? And he was like, yeah. And I found that song, and I was at work one day, and I looped that song 10 to 15 times within, like, an hour, and I couldn't stop listening to it. It was really good. Man, these guys are dropping a lot of shit right now. That's what super badasses do, man. Super badasses drop shit as we drop truth.
Oh, baby, you are the best.
Whoa, do you work out?
Yes, Gage, I do work out. It's another night that shit got real. Why is it always at nighttime when shit gets real for us?
I don't know. Shit gets real all the time. I think my favorite lyrical piece is GINASFS. Yes. GINAFS. Otherwise known as gay is not a synonym. Gay is not a synonym for shitty. Is a fantastically lyrically written song. And I'm kind of upset that it isn't on every version of Infinity on High. It's only on certain editions of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is there, like, a reason why?
No, it basically was one of the songs that got cut.
Oh.
And I mean, they released it. You can buy it on iTunes. Final round.
Thank fuck. I think after this we'll go and we'll turn. Ooh, I got a new skin. After this we'll turn everything in, and then we'll call it for the night.
You can beat this game, dude.
What?
Game is like almost done.
It is. I mean, I'm trying to. I don't think there are any more side quests.
Is there a way to check?
Not on me, but, like, if anyone's watching that has a Twitch account that can comment on this, who's played this game, can you just let us know if we're, in terms of side quests, if we're done? I know there's one that involves the raid boss, but but I'm trying to think because we just have